This 2020-21 Vendee Globe Round the World Race Report is brought to you by Pantania's Professional Race Cover, your tailor-made racing yacht insurance.
A sea mist shrouding the start zone off La Sable held up the start of the 9th edition of the Vendee Globe, the solo non-stop round the world race, for nearly 1 hour and 20 minutes. But for their patience, the record-sized 33-boat fleet was rewarded by late autumn sunshine, a near-perfect 10 to 12 knots southeasterly breezes and flat seas, when the start gun finally sounded, sending the lone 27 men and 6 women skippers off on their 24,296 nautical miles round the world challenge. For the nervous first-timers, the added delay ratcheted up the tension on top of a morning of bubbling emotions. In contrast, the super-experienced solo racers grabbed a welcome quiet catnap after enduring what almost all reported to be a sleepless final night on land. When the gun sounded, Louis Burton on Bureau Valley 2 broke the start line. But the third-time Vendee Globe skipper, racing the boat which won in 2016-17 and holds the race record, was notably seconds ahead of the gun. He is penalized according to the strict race rules, required to halt his race for 5 hours, stopping racing and resuming from the same point just north of Lisbon. With 2 to 3 months of racing ahead, safe, prudent starts were otherwise the order of the day. But as the fleet accelerated away from the line, the fast foilers started to build speed on the flat seas.
I genuinely believe if you finish the Vendee Globe, it's an amazing achievement. You should never underestimate how hard it is to be able to do that. And why do I do it? I do it because, the challenge, obviously, it's the challenge has got me a bit. And everything for me is about the performance. If I'm performing to my expectations, I'm happy. And if I'm not happy. We're taking a human and then we're taking a machine. How do you kind of put those two things together in what we would call kind of perfect synergy? The machine needs to be an extension of the human. So it's been fascinating to run down that road, I can tell you.
Moins de 2 heures et on va déjà à 19 nœuds, ça avance bien là. Je me suis déjà fait des petites prières là à bord de mon beau bateau. J'ai eu un petit souci d'interrupteur de quille au départ, un petit souci de pilote juste après. Je suis fébrile, mais ça va. Je commence doucement à mettre dedans. J'avoue que j'ai du mal à. Je suis un peu émue, c'est compliqué là. Mais ça va, le bateau avance bien et j'ai pas de. Bon voilà, tout va bien quoi. Il fait beau, on va vite. C'est cool. Le Vendee Globe, c'est parti. Maintenant, faut s'en rendre compte et commencer à bosser. Parce qu'il y a du boulot. Allez, à plus tout le monde.
Premier coucher de soleil, il y a un bordeur qui n'a pas prêt. J'avoue que l'émotion redescend pas tellement. C'est quand même un peu dur. Voilà, j'ai du mal à me rendre compte que je pars pour 70 ou 80 jours. Voilà, ça fait bizarre. J'ai tellement attendu ce moment et en même temps, je sais pas quoi en penser. Voilà. Allez, ça va bien se passer. Ça va bien se passer, je sais que vous êtes nombreux à me suivre. Allez.
After almost 24 hours at sea, the Vendee Globe fleet is on the wind in good conditions, with the best-placed group of boats located about 190 nautical miles north of Cape Finisterre, and nearly 300 miles west of La Sab-de-Long. That group is led by Nicolas Troussel, on the Juan K-designed Coram L'Epage, who has been setting a hot pace at the front of the fleet. He is now on starboard tack, heading due south about 11 miles ahead of Jeremie Beyou's Char Il, who, in turn, is 4 miles in front of Kevin Escoffier on Pier B. The other boats in that group are Sea Explorer Yacht Club de Monaco, Boris Herman, Arkia Paprec, Sebastian Simon, Apivia, Charlie Dalin, L'Occitane En Provence, Armel Tripan, Linked Out, Thomas Ruyant, and Bureau Valley 2, Louis Burton. Ruyant is the most westerly of the group, about 63 miles north of Troussel. Then, slightly further east, a second group is being led by British sailor Alex Thomson on Hugo Boss, who is competing in the IMOCA fleet for the first time since last year's Transat Jacques Vabre. Thomson is 22 miles to leeward of Troussel, and his progress will be being watched very carefully by his main rivals. He is being chased by Sam Davies on Initiatives Car, Yannick Bestaven on Metrocoque 4, Clarisse Kremer on Banque Populaire 10, and Isabelle Jost on MACSF. It has been a fascinating first phase of the race as the skippers have dealt with varying conditions and some boats have travelled faster on particular angles of sail than others. The leader on the tracker is actually Damien Seguin on Group Apicil, who is nearest to the finish line of the race a mere 24,000 miles away, but he is 60 miles southeast and to leeward of Troussel. The boats furthest west are the ones closest to the trough line in the Atlantic, a daunting meteorological feature packing strong winds and big seas that the skippers are looking to traverse. Once across it, they will make the transition from strengthening southerlies to more favorable winds from the north and northwest. Tackling that transition is going to be the first big moment of the race, and Alex Thomson made clear that it will not be easy, remarking that it would be a moment that, he said, would sort out the men from the boys. Most of the skippers seem to be settling in. Ari Husella, who is near the back of the fleet on Stark, has been sailing with one reef and his J3 as he begins his quest to become the first Finnish sailor to complete the Vendee Globe. "I am feeling fine and all is good on board," he reported. "I have eaten well and right now it is porridge and routing time." Up ahead of him, Boris Herman was enjoying the first battles of this race. "It's exciting with good teams close to us," he reported from on board Sea Explorer Yacht Club de Monaco. "I need to observe their positions a lot just for extra safety. We are approaching the first front now, it's bumpy, and I keep it at 20 knots of boat speed for extra safety." Herman reminds us that, at this stage in the race, with the 33 boats spread out across just 122 miles of ocean, the skippers have to be careful not to allow their boats to get too close to each other when they are sleeping. They are also having to keep an eye out for commercial traffic in these early stages. The message from several of the skippers is about the joy they are feeling at being released to finally get going on one of the greatest quests in endurance sport. This was best summed up by the British sailor, Pip Hare, who made an excellent start on board Medallia. In a video message, a beaming Hare spoke of her sheer delight at being out on the water and on her way. "So there we go," she said, "I've started the Vendee Globe. We are now just under an hour into the race. I had a great start, it was awesome. The sun was shining," she added, "there was a buzz all around, all the helicopters were around, and there was me in amongst all those boats. Yeah, the fleet is all leveling out now and I'm back to sort of where I should be, but look." She gestured behind her at the boats following Medallia, "There's lots still behind me." More J3 hook trouble on one of the contenders in this year's Vendee Globe. Last night, Armel Tripan encountered technical problems with the Hedsel J3 hook aboard L'Occitane En Provence. Given the current weather conditions in the area, an active front passage generating strong winds and very rough seas, it is not safe enough for Armel to climb the mast himself in order to carry out the repair. He is currently rerouting towards La Corona in Spain, the nearest port, in order to carry out these repairs in dock. He should arrive there on Thursday.
This 2020-21 Vendee Globe Round the World Race Report was brought to you by Pantania's Professional Race Cover, your tailor-made racing yacht insurance.